So how do you plumb a beam, a viga, a log that's very irregularly shaped and with bumps on it and bark on it and knots on it? So this is the way I've come up with. I was eyeballing it for these end ones, but I don't think that's the best idea. So what I did was, while I had these logs laying over in the holes, I had them tilted over this direction. I climbed up there and put a screw right in the center of each log, a 6-inch drywall screw, straight down. And you can't see them, but they're in the center of all 4 of these. And so then I put a string in my plumb bob right here, and I hung it off this west side, and you can see that it's kind of tapers off that direction. So I'm going to eyeball it at the bottom, I'm going to eyeball at the top, and when it's straight up and down, then I'm happy. So right now I have it straight up and down right here. So that's very good. But as I move it back, I'm going to shift it one way or the other, so I'll have to retrue it that way as well, side to side, not just front to back. Okay, and how I'm doing that is, let's climb the ladder here. I was going to drill rebar into the tires again, just temporarily, to use as anchors. But what I ended up doing was just using these, and like on this one I just made a triangle. On that one I kind of made a 90 degree. On this one I made about a 90 degree, which is better because this isn't quite a 90 degree. This is a little more like a 60 or 70 degree. When I move one, it actually tips it the other way. So I wish I'd put that one further out. So it'd be more of a 90 degree-ish, but I'm making it work. So here I'm just using this little piece of fenestrated metal and just cut little pieces, drywall screws. And so let's move it back real quick. So I just love this little bit. And normally I don't make videos of me drilling holes and drilling screws in, because you don't need that. So, but this little bit magnet adapter I got off Amazon, it was a set of several of them. And it just slips on the end of your bit like that. And so what's nice about it is, I'm going to loosen this one, then I'm going to take this one all the way out. And get my screws down. Okay. Now it's a one-handed operation. So we got to back this up. So bracket over this, and then I don't have to hold the screw, I don't have to hold the washer, and it still works like a regular bit, and it barely sticks out, just enough for the bit head, but it holds the screw on. So I pull these out and it just sticks to it. In fact, it's kind of annoying because when you do want it to come off, you can't shake it off, you have to actually take it off. But in any event, I just love that little thing. So let's go see if we're a little straighter now. Okay, so I moved that leg back about 2.5 inches. I moved that one back about the same, and now my plumb bob, we can't quite get in the middle of it, but it looks like it's pretty much in the center now. So I'm much happier with that, rather than eyeballing it with all these boards and everything looking crooked around it. I don't have any frame of reference to know if it looks straight up and down, so this is helping me a lot. All right, so they're mostly in place, the 4 vertical logs, and I ran the string down the middle of the logs, and you can see it's pretty straight, except for that one log. I've got to correct that one. I just finished correcting this one, and so that'll allow me to have the tops all along in perfect alignment. So when I put my beam in, my cross beam, my 2x8s, they'll sit right on top. Okay, so, and they'll be in perfect alignment. Perfect. So necessity being the mother of invention, maybe laziness on my part. What I'm doing is using this plumb bob, of course, to set all my strings, set all these vertically. Okay, so I'm having to climb on the scaffolding, reach up here, which I can barely reach the top of that, screw, hook this loop on, and then hang the plumb bob, go down, hold it still, watch it for plumb, come over here, correct it, go back down, see if I'm plumb, come back up, correct it some more, see if I'm plumb, and then once I have that set, then I climb back up and move it around. Okay, so you're dying from me giving you too many details. So what I'm using is this stick I made to pull the chain when I was pulling tires through it's just a 1x2x8. And if I can do this with one hand, here's what I'm doing. And I'm just standing on the bond beam and I'll drop the plumb bob down there, and then with this hook, sorry about the camera movement, here we go. Actually, that slot might be where I want it. It might be right where I want it. Let's just put it in there. Okay, so there we go. And now the plumb bob is hanging, and it's perfect actually. This is pretty good. It's right in the middle up here. Kind of comes out of that slot a little bit to the side, but it's right pretty much in the middle down there. I'm happy with that. What I'm going to do is swing it to the side now, probably this side over here, and then we'll go look at it from that side. So I'll just grab it with the hook here, swing it around. Okay, it's hooking on, so there we go. And I'm going to try to put it right in line with that string. And let's go see if that's the case. Not quite, but it's pretty much in line with the side of the pole. Okay, so as far as plumbness goes, it is, from here, it looks like it's plumb, straight up and down. So what I'm going to have to do is move the top out a lot, past the string, and then I'm going to have to kick the bottom out from this side. I'll hit it with the sledgehammer and drive it over. And then I'll try to get that screw in line with the rest of these so that we'll have the top centers of the posts in line. Okay, here goes. Okay, just trying to get these vigas in place and have them in the ground. And I had leaned them against the, kind of against the tire bale wall. And I put a 6-inch drywall screw in the center of all of them. And so what I'm doing is using those drywall screws to line this up. I got a string tied between that one and the end one. And then I've plumbed this one and the end one. And so I just want to line these other two up in the middle. Okay, so my string is pretty straight. You can see this second kicks the string over just a tiny bit. Actually, it might not. Let me get this out of the crack. Actually, it's nice and straight now. Oh, and last thing, so I was putting a screw in there and then running the board, trying to make them at 90-degree angles so that when I adjust one, it doesn't throw the other one off. Some of these are more like at 60. This one's about 90. This one's like 65 or 70 maybe. So when I try to adjust this one, it throws the other one off. So this is kind of a big pain in the butt. I should have put this over there. And anyhow, but that's how I ended up. And that one's over 90 degrees over there, and so that worked well. Adjusting that was pretty easy. But what I'm doing back here is just using some little fenestrated metal and 2-inch drywall screws, some washers, just because the drywall screws will go through these holes. I realized after doing this, and I was almost done, that just using a little clamp, a little squeeze clamp, or even a C-clamp, just to make quick adjustments instead of pulling screws in and out, would allow me to adjust this much faster. And then once I have it in place, just go ahead and put this on to hold it in place while I get the concrete poured. So use this as a last, use these pieces as a last final holding device, and using clamps to hold it in place would have been a lot easier. Okay.